Hey there, everyone. How are you today? It is Tuesday afternoon, the 24th of April. We talked last week about the infertility journey that I was going to go on, and tomorrow, Wednesday morning, is when I go in for my procedure. It's called a varicocele embolization. Talked a little bit about it last week, but what they're going to do is they're going to put me about halfway under, and then I'm going to go right to sleep because I'll work until 3 a.m. and have to be there for 8. So I will probably just go to sleep on the table. And they will take a catheter and either stick it in my neck or in my leg. In the catheter, they'll deliver a spring which will prevent the blood from continuing to pool, which is what a varicose vein is. And that's it. Procedure takes about an hour. Whenever I wake up and can identify which one's my wife and which one's her car, I get to go home. So it should be just the morning. And then I come home and relax for a couple of days and right back at work. And who knows how long it'll be before I get out again to actually do the stuff I love, but hopefully not too long. They say 2 to 3 days as opposed to the surgical 4 to 6 weeks. So hopefully this is a quick one. I did get up this morning. I went for a 7-mile run. I was going to go for longer, and what I wound up doing was going 3.5 miles and stopping at the gym and getting a good workout in, going another 3.5 miles, having some lunch, and just relaxing. So I figured I'd check in with y'all before I go in for that procedure. That way, if it's another few days before I get to speak again, then at least I got to touch base with you. Man, it was a long weekend, huh? We had the kids shooting up that Waffle House. Now, this is a perfect example. I talked on Josh the podcast a few times about gun control, and I believe that most people should be allowed to have most kinds of guns, and this kid was a perfect example of what should happen. Where he was from, they had a red flag law. He got arrested for being in the in a restricted zone around the White House. The FBI said, "Hey, you got to take his guns away." They took his guns away. Of course, they gave them to his dad for safekeeping, and Dad said, "Here you go. I don't want these." I just gave them back, and now 4 people are dead, others are wounded, and wasn't a good guy with a gun who stopped him. It was a guy who saw him trying to reload, and he wrestled the gun away enough that the kid took off. Then we got this van driver in Toronto. They say it was a deliberate act, which clearly it was planned. He rented a van specifically for it, and then they say it's not terrorism, which means that there wasn't any sort of organized pre-planning. It was just this lone wolf. I believe that's how they go up there. It's really how we go here too. To be terrorism, you've got to have some sort of organizational system behind you. Although here in the U.S., you can just declare that you're rooting for an organizational system like Islamic State, and you're considered a terrorist. I don't know whether that's the right way or the wrong way to go. I'm just stating that's the difference between the two nations and how they view that. So, I don't know. I'm just here to remind y'all to be nicer to each other. If you feel like you got some doors to kick in, just think about who's got to pay to fix that door. And, what kid might be on the other side of that door, you hit in the head. We had the school next door when they first started their baseball team practice this spring. They were hitting some balls over the fence toward us, and I think somebody pointed out to them, thankfully on their side we didn't have to carry anything over, that It's bad enough if they hit a car or something and the school has to pay for repairs, but God forbid they hit a kid in the head, or they hit an elderly person in the head, or they kill an animal with it. Just there's no reason to hit in that direction when you could just turn around and there's a great big open field. If you can't hit the ball down into the fence, don't hit the ball in that general direction, which is what they were doing. And we haven't seen another baseball over the fence since. So, that's just think about what's going on the other side of any fence or door that you might see. And, if your kid were standing next to a door, what would happen if somebody kicked that door in? You wouldn't like it very much. So don't go kicking other people's doors in. That's all. So just be good to each other. I know we got a lot more people out there than the earth was meant to hold. If you go back on my website a little bit, joshshear.com, you'll find a 50-year thought experiment where we roll back. And it's amazing that not that long ago, the population of the earth was about the population of New York City. It's a huge, huge jump that we've had in the number of people just around. We probably haven't really gotten used to that yet. So just be good to each other out there. Be good to you. And hopefully I will see you soon.